Imagine if you had 80 minutes of more focused, more energized time in a day. What would you do with it? I'm Suzanne Rath, and you're listening to Endures for your daily dose of endurance leadership and life lessons. So, new research has just come out from a university in Toronto saying that the variation between our productive days and our flatter, less productive days where we don't feel like we're performing can be as significant as 80 minutes. So that means that we can get 80 minutes more focused work done, more fulfilling work done, that we end the day, and generally on those days, we feel like we've actually achieved more and we can measurably say that we've achieved more. But the study talks about this natural energy flux that we have. And this is really, really important. It's really important to realize that we have days where we're off and we have days where we're absolutely on fire. Now, this can be influenced by a whole range of things: our physiology, what's going on in our lives, what's going on in our work, how well we've planned our days. And there definitely is no bro culture morning routine or biohacking that is going to make you always be on. But one of the stats that I share as part of my ambition capacity gap, where I talk about the 3 core outcomes that I'm obsessed with, is this one for Microsoft, which is that 68% of people report not having enough focused work time in the day. So we do know what we can get done on an on day. We do know what we can get done when we have a really focused block of work time. And so I guess the question is, how do we maximize the number of these on days that we have? So there's a huge range of tools that I share with people, obviously as part of my performance advancement pathway. But today I just want to touch on 5 that have been talked about in some of the articles about this particular piece of research. So number 1 is prioritizing sleep. Now, this just sounds so common sense, but yet we still have these people like Japanese Prime Minister and Elon Musk and all these people glorifying poor sleep. And our bodies can certainly deal with a period of poor sleep. I mean, I somehow managed to run 270 Ks on 6 hours of sleep across 3 nights, which is something that still stuns me. But in general, our emotional regulation, our performance, our capacity to deal with discomfort, and our capacity to actually get deep focused work done is better when we have a good night's sleep, and if we can do that consistently. The second thing is taking breaks, and this is another thing that I talk about, I coach on a lot. So dividing our breaks into the micro recoveries, like the 10-minute breaks or the half an hour lunch break that's away from the desk, those things that we take several times a day, down to the sort of longer breaks, like having a long weekend where we switch off, down to the holidays and so on. The third piece is around how we manage our emotions. So if we get caught into these spirals of negativity, complaining, if we're not hanging around the right support systems, then it's really easy to keep spiraling down into these constant negative thoughts. So research can tell us that up to 98% of our thoughts, if they're the same on repeat, can be negative. And so we need to actually interrupt those thought patterns so that we can have one of those really good days. The fourth piece is don't overdo it on the days where you do feel really energized, because you end up in this sort of boom bust cycle. So even in athletic training, we would have a rest day after a major training session or a really long run, or it would be more of a recovery type of run. We don't have speed session, intensively every single day. We have to have those little breaks and those little recovery pieces within there and not be constantly overdoing it, because just like as athletes, you need to allow a period of adaptation for your muscles and so on to grow. So too, as leaders, as business owners, we need a period of processing. We need a period of different brain states. We need a period of more social tasks, right? Not always doing deep focused high level brain work. We're actually just not set up for that. So yeah, it's designing our days and so on around that so we don't overdo it. And then the fifth thing is just to keep showing up. So consistency beats a massive burst of motivation any day of the week. You know, motivation, passion, I think can die, or they can wane, or they can change really easily. They're very fickle masters. Whereas consistency, having a plan, working the plan, is really what gets you the results in the end. There's no point in having this one major amazing training session and then not doing anything else, right? And the same in our business and our lives. We actually have to keep showing up. We have to do the day-to-day things, because often it's actually the boring things that get the results. So if you are somebody who is struggling to get focus, who's struggling to have any of these good days where you feel like you've got that 80 extra minutes right now, hopefully one of those 5 things has been helpful for you. And I will see you tomorrow for more from Endures. Bye.